I've done well over 100 flips now, and let me tell you, the first time I tried estimating a rehab cost on a flip, I messed the whole thing up. I over budgeted for little things, I under budgeted for big things, and I completely missed some line items that ended up costing me tens of thousands of dollars. At this point in my career, having done so many flips, I can flip through some pictures and estimate the rehab cost in a matter of minutes. I'm going to show you guys exactly how I do it, a little bit slower. I'm going to take 20 minutes, screen share myself going through a deal that was sent to my email by a wholesaler, looking through the photos, create a scope of work, and then plug in all of my estimates with you guys to see live. Also, as a bonus, I will link you guys to the exact spreadsheet that I use in this video so that you can copy it for yourselves and have it with all of my formulas attached. Let's get right into it. I hope you guys enjoy. So, he sent me 48 Sturdivant Street in Norwich. And this is offered at $75,000. Looks like a single family home. Let's go through the pictures together. I'll give you my first impressions and then we'll make a rehab estimate. Obviously the roof's fucked up here, so I'm gonna budget for an entire new roof. Siding looks relatively good. I'm gonna try to keep that. Looks like there's gonna be a bunch of windows. Interior looks pretty messed up. He's got some details here. Single family 3-1, 1484 square feet. It was a probate deal, but the process is completed, which is good because probate typically takes forever. Let's take a look at the photos here. Oh, nice. We got comps, videos. Start on the basement. Okay, so it's got a bulkhead door, wood, fieldstone foundation, and then a basement cellar door here. Pretty old. Yep, heating system needs to be redone. Okay, so this right here is knob and tube wiring, but this is just the knob. There's actually no tube going through it. So, and I see Romex around it. That's what this white wire is, although it's going into a metal conduit, which is interesting. Armor cable here, that's a little old, so we'll keep our eye out for electrical, but so far it looks like they replaced it. That oil tank's gone. Gotta go. Okay, so you see all Romex with the exception of 1 or 2 wires coming out of here. It looks like they updated most of the electrical. I'm gonna budget for redoing this panel and touching up some of the old wiring that was left. Okay, so we have the fieldstone foundation clearly getting water intrusion, and we have a brick section of a foundation on top of it. Yep, water coming in, dirt floor. Might want to budget to put concrete. You can do a simple vapor barrier, crushed stone, pour cement. This is a plumbing drain line here. That's cast iron. That's going to need to be updated to PVC. And that's all the photos we have for the basement. Okay, not bad. So I have a template that I use to run my numbers. So we're just going to fill it out together. This is 48 Sturdivant Street in Norwich. It was how many square feet? 1484. All right, this is how easy this stuff can be. I'm just going to go to basement because we've just looked at those photos and I'm going to fill this in. So I know I'm going to do a concrete floor. That's probably going to run me $2,500. And then I'm going to do some demo and clean out, but that's already a line item here. I'm probably going to do some stucco on the walls to stop the water from coming in as best I can. Otherwise, I'll have to put a French drain in if it's impossible to get the water to come in. That way, when I seal the floor with concrete, it doesn't just fill and flood with water. The water has somewhere to go. I'm going to budget an extra $3,000 just for that. That's going to give me $5,500 to button the basement up outside of everything else. Okay, now let's take a look at the exterior. All right, so we're going to budget for an all-new roof, and we're not going to be lazy about it because this roof, although it's pretty small, let's find out exactly how big it is. So we're going to type in Norwich, Connecticut VGSI. We're going to click on the website that comes up here. This is a government database where you can find all the info on, I'd say 99% of properties in America. Okay, so we found 48 Sturdivant here. It's going to give us the layout drawing, and this allows me to estimate how big the roof is. It looks like there might be a roof on the back here, but that could just be part of the basement. So let's flick through these photos. Yep, there is just an overhang here. Actually, I can't tell. Nope, there is a roof there. So we're going to redo this roof, this overhang, this entire roof. So let's estimate the size of the roof. We got 21 by 33 plus 14 by 7 plus 3 by 5. So let's go back here. Let's go to roof on exterior. And we had 33 by 21, 7 by 14. So we'll do 33 by 21 plus 7 by 14 plus, what was the last small part here? 3 by 5, even though it's not that big, better to be safe than sorry. 3 by 5, that gives us 806. That's how big it would be if it was flat. Since the pitch is pretty small, we're only going to add about 20%. Multiplied by 1.25, we'll add 25%, so we're over budgeting a little bit. So we're probably going to do 1,000 square feet of roofing here. And roofing costs about $500 a square feet to $650 a square feet, depending on how intensive it is. Since we have to do plywood and stuff, I'm going to budget $650. So we're at $6,500 for the roof, soffit, and fascia. I'm going to bump it up just a little bit more because we have all the damaged wood and it was just falling apart on the other side. We'll do $850. That way it accounts for soffit and fascia as well. We're $8,500 for the roof. Gutters, it's just 2 runs of gutters, I imagine, because we have a 33-foot long section here and a 33-foot long section here. Gutters are probably going to be less than $10 a linear foot. So we have 66 linear feet. It's probably going to be like $700 in material. We'll say $700 in labor. I'll budget $1,500 to be safe. Okay. We have the downspouts too, so that's a decent budget. I might even say $1,650. Windows, let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and there's probably another one on the other side. I'm going to say 25 windows. Windows are going to be about $300 each, plus we need labor, and they're old wooden windows, so it's going to be a little bit more in labor. So I'm going to budget actually $500 a window. Times 25, $12,500 for windows. It's a great budget. I know for sure I'll get beautiful double hung vinyl windows in for that budget. Get rid of the old windows, fit them, fix the framing around them if we need to, get them to look good while saving the siding. Exterior doors. I know that there's at least 2. There might be one on the inside of this section here too, but we have one here. We have, no, this looks like interior house stuff, so there might just be 2 exterior doors. That one, wait, is that one there? Whoops. Is that an exterior door? Yes, it is. I'm going to say 2 plus the bulkhead. Bulkhead's going to be more expensive. Bulkhead all in is probably going to be $1,000, like $650 for the actual bulkhead. And then you got labor, so we'll say $1,000. And then we got 2 exterior doors. They're going to be like $400 each, plus labor, so like another $1,200. $2,200 for the exterior doors. Landscaping. How bad is the landscape out here? It's pretty overgrown, but honestly, not too shabby. Just get rid of the junk, get rid of the overgrowth. The lawn itself just needs to be taken care of a little bit, but no need to go crazy with it. Maybe some mulch around it. So I'm gonna say $1,200. I know if I hire a local landscaper, they'll make it look nice for that much. Actually, let's say $1,500. We'll really sex it up. Driveway. I thought the driveway was fine. I'm not gonna spend any money on it. Utilities. I don't imagine we're gonna have to spend any money on utilities. Let's see what's listed on the public record for. Because I saw oil in there. Okay, so here it says they actually have gas. So if they have gas from the city of Norwich, that's even better. We're not going to replace the oil tank in the basement. We're just going to hook it up to gas, put a new gas heater in there, probably an on-demand water heater. That takes care of our exterior budget. So $26,000 for the outside. Seems high, but it makes sense because we got to do all the windows, and that roof was pretty fucked up. All right, let's get back to the inside. First floor. Boom. All right. So these could be hardwood floors, although I see a transfer strip here, which tells me that it's probably not hardwood. Yeah, it's peeling up here. This is probably roll-down vinyl, laminate, linoleum, something like that. So I'm going to rip it up. Oh, yep, we got lead paint here. So our demo, clean out, and waste management budget is going to be relatively high because that takes a lot of time to do the demo correctly. Even here, you can see the peeling paint. All the paneling should come down. Any tacked-in ceiling should come down and get sheetrocked. Any carpet's going to come out. All the floor is going to come out. So we're probably going to need, there's a bunch of junk here too. Might be able to put some of it outside for free. This is beautiful coffered ceilings. I mean, I don't know if you could technically call them coffered, but they have a nice trim grid. So we'll scrape this up and we'll paint it flat white and it'll look much better. This looks like, I don't know, we're going to get rid of it. It could just be a coat hanger. Kind of look like a built-in wall heater or something. You can see here they had hot water baseboard, it looks like, but we're going to redo all that. Oops, the kitchen's in there. Did I get a good shot of the kitchen? No? Maybe it was when you walked in. Let's see. Oops, my Mac's being funny. There we go. I don't see a clear view of the kitchen. There's a stove there, so that room's probably it. I'm just going to say we need an all-new kitchen anyway. So, almost a full gut. That's the first floor. Let's take a look at the second floor. Yeah, very similar. It's going to need floors, walls. A lot of the walls should just come down. The ceilings we're going to try to keep as long as it's not the tack-in stuff. These ceilings got to go. So much lead paint here. That's terrible. Oh, boy. And it was used a lot in the 1800s. And this house was built in 1875. So it checks out. Okay, I got a pretty good idea of the house now. Let's go back to our scope of work here. Framing. This is just kind of a blanket list of things that you'll find in most properties. Not every property is going to need these things, but on this one, since it's 1,500 square feet and it only has one bathroom, I am going to budget a little bit of money for framing, and I'm talking just $1,000 or so, in case we want to add closets to bedrooms, add a wall to add a second bathroom, or maybe a half bath on the first floor or something like that. Maybe we need to change the layout in the kitchen, because judging by the pictures, the layout was not the best. So I am going to add $1,000 framing budget. Insulation. You know, as far as I can tell, since it's an older house, this is going to have outdated insulation, and since the roof was fucked up, we're probably going to have to insulate here. I saw in the photos of the basement that there was no insulation in the ceiling of the basement, so I am going to budget some money for insulation. We're going to do $3,500, and if it's less than that, great. Electrical. Okay, we're going to update the panel. We're going to change all the fixtures, which is like the lights on the ceilings, any lights on the walls, and like bathrooms and stuff. And we're going to change all of the receptacles, so outlets, switches, that sort of stuff. We're going to budget $6,500 for electrical. We might have to upgrade the service too, so I'm actually going to budget like $7,750. Plumbing and heating. Heating, I'm going to do an all-new heating system. I'm just going to budget $11,500. Only reason I can do this off rip is because I know what my contractors are going to charge to do an on-demand, gas-fired, hot water heating system for a house and put all the new baseboards in. If you don't know, you just go on Google, go to some networking events, go to some contractor forums, go on Facebook, find a bunch of plumbers or HVAC guys and just ask them to ballpark you some pricing over the phone. Tell them you can send them pictures. You could just send them the pictures that the wholesaler send you. Just say, hey, I'm a flipper. I'm going to have a lot of business for somebody who I can trust. I just need to kind of get a ballpark so I can run my numbers before I submit my offer. Does that make sense? And they're going to say, yeah, that makes sense. So just do that. And then eventually you'll do it enough times where you can kind of estimate it like I do. Plumbing is going to be like $400 a fixture. You have one bathroom, which has 3 fixtures: toilet, tub, vanity. Then you have a kitchen, which has potentially dishwasher, sink, and I'm pretty sure that's it for the kitchen. So, and then you have washer, dryer. So let's just budget for the washer, dryer, another 2 fixtures. So we got 7 times 400. We'll say 450 just in case. 3150 for plumbing, 11.5 for heating. Sounds good to me. Sheetrock. Because the house is pretty small, 1,400 square feet, I'm going to budget a little high though, because we're going to be demoing a lot of the walls and ceilings. I'm going to say we need 70 sheets of sheetrock. Going rate for sheetrock, material and install, in my market is about, I'd say $85 per sheet. So we're going to spend $6,000 on sheetrock. That includes mudding, taping, mudding again, sanding, making sure it's ready for paint. Paint is simple. We charge, or we budget $3.50 a square foot, or $4 a square foot if it's really bad. So this one's going to need a lot of prep, so we'll budget $4 a square foot, $6,000 for painting, not bad. Flooring will budget $5 a square foot, and that's going to get us any solid type of vinyl product, $2.50 a square foot, right around there, and then $2.50 a square foot for install. That's going to include any prep work that needs to get done on the old floors after they're demoed. Interior doors, let's see, we have 7 rooms. All right, it's safe to assume that we're going to have 1 door here plus the 7 rooms. So, and then you have closets in at least 3 of them. So 10, 11. I'm going to budget for 12 interior doors. That might be one too many, but I'd rather be a little safe than sorry. So, you know what? I'll actually say 13 interior doors. An interior door is about, $120 for a replacement door. Then you need like $10 for each of the actual doorknobs. And then you're going to pay a carpenter probably like $80 per door to install. So we're at $27.30 for interior doors. Trim and caulk. Trim is sold by the linear foot. Caulk is just a labor cost. I mean, a case of caulk is probably like $50 and it'll definitely do the whole house. For this one, I'm thinking we're probably going to need less than 1,000 linear feet, including door, window, and floor molding. So we're probably going to spend like $1,200 on materials, and we'll hire a carpenter to do it. It's going to take him probably like a whole week to do it right. So we'll say $1,500. So let's budget $2,700 for this. Kitchen. Always budget what seems to be really low for a kitchen, but it's just because I've engineered my costs really well. So I know for a fact for a house like this, I'm probably going to do a 10 by 10 kitchen where I can buy maybe 12 cabinets total between uppers and lowers on the high end. And I'm spending $250 per cabinet on the high end. So let's say material cost is going to be $250 times, let's just say 10 cabinets. We'll say 12 just to be safe. So we got $3,000 of materials. Plus I know someone will install it for me really well for $1,200. So $4,200 for the kitchen. Then we need to do the granite. The granite's probably going to be $40 a square foot. If it's a standard 10 by 10 kitchen, it's going to be like 20 square feet, give or take. So we'll say $800. Plus we need the sink and they supply that. I'm going to budget $1,100 for the countertop.
And then I'm going to do a tile backsplash, which is super cheap. Let me just show you guys how cheap this can be. We go to Lowe's. What's it called? Subway tile white 6. You're not going to believe how cheap this is. Each tile, 15 cents. Yes, they're small, 3x6, so you need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tiles per square feet. It's going to be like 40 square feet in tile tops, so 40 times 6 is how many tiles we need, just to show you. 6 times 40, $240 in tiles. I mean, that includes mortar too, because it's not going to be 40 square feet. And then I can get that installed for like $500. So $6,000 for the kitchen, not including plumbing, because we already have that portioned out over here. That sounds legit to me. I'm not going to include appliances. I never do on small flips like this. So onto the bathrooms. I wrote bathrooms here just because you never know, but on this one, there's only one bathroom. I'm going to budget for 2 bathrooms just in case we frame out a second one. So keep in mind, we don't have to budget for the flooring, the paint, any of the electrical, any of the plumbing. So let's do it this way. We have 2 toilets. A toilet's $120. We have 2 vanities. A vanity is like $150. We have 2 tubs. They're about $350 each. And we might have like a specialty fixture, a couple of like toilet paper hangers and paper towel holders or hand towel holders. So budget another $100, $50 in each. $13.40 to outfit the bathrooms. And that's if we have 2. Now we're moving on to back here so we can take care of the demo, clean out, and waste management. So because it's so big, I'm going to budget for 2. Because there's so much junk, I'm going to budget for 2 30-yard dumpsters. Now in my area, a 30-yard dumpster rental costs about $900 after you take into account all the weight that they charge you for. So $1,800 on dumpsters. Demo itself, I mean, my demo crew is probably going to charge me like $2,500 for a house like that, especially if they're doing lead paint though. I'm going to have to hire a proper lead paint abatement company. That's going to cost me probably an extra $2,000 on whatever I'm thinking. So I'll budget $4,500 for labor there. We got $6,300 for demo clean out and waste management. And it's looking pretty good. So we have a total rehab budget of $98,000. Okay, you know what? I'm just realizing now I actually messed up the plumbing budget. $3,150. That's just piping. That's just putting in new fittings. That's actually not redoing the water supply lines and the drains. And I know for a fact that we had a cast iron drain and all the water supply lines are probably copper or non-existent. So we're going to replace that all with PEX and PVC. Since it's 1,500 square foot house, let's say 2 bathrooms, the stack's going to be probably have 2 trunks in it. We're going to say my plumber's probably going to charge me $8,000 to do that. I know. How did I miss that? No idea. That's why we double check. Now giving it another once over. Everything looks pretty good. Probably going to spend $105,000 on this. So let's go over here. We're going to put unit count 1. Asking price was $75,000. So that's actually really cheap. Let's see how this plays out. And our ARV is what we have to figure out next. So I'm pretty sure he had something here. Let's see if this is accurate. Comps and property details. Okay. All right. So he has some comps here. I'm not going to go too in depth on this part, but basically what we're looking for is a similar sized property, similar style that sold recently. And then we're going to comp it based off that. So let's go from the top. We got a 1,300 square feet sold in April of 2023. So about a year ago. For $255. We have a 2-1, 1,100 square feet, 210. That's smaller, less bathrooms, not very comparable, but fully updated. So this sold for what, $200 a square foot? This sold for about $200 a square foot, and it was mostly updated. So this one has, this one's on the same road. 3.2, but 1,200 square feet. We're gonna add a bathroom on ours probably anyways. And this sold a while ago. Outdated too, so maybe this wasn't fully updated. Let's see if there's any pictures on this one. Here we go. This isn't even comparable. This is a 1-story, like bungalow or something. I don't even know, but that's not comparable to ours. So we're gonna ignore that one. This one sold for $200. 3-1, 1,165 square feet. Let's just see what happens. Oh, okay. This one's much more comparable, although it's got like older windows still. I mean, did they even flip this? Let's see. This sold 5 months ago, but it looks like it still needs a lot of love by the time it's sold. So we're not going to comp that either. 250, 1,100 square feet, 3.2, 2.1, 286. Yeah. Based on these comps, I'm going to say conservatively, it's probably going to be worth about $260 if we add that bathroom. It's going to be bigger than all of these. Some of them by almost, 50%, 30% bigger than the average. And the ones that are updated are selling for like mid 250s, it seems. 220 on the low end, but this one wasn't very comparable. So I'm going to say 260 for the ARV on this one. So that gives us a gross spread of about 80 grand. And by my formula, which you can copy here, by the way, if you want this spreadsheet, just take a look at the description or click the link somewhere. I'm going to link this somewhere. You can just, click on it, hit file, make a copy, and it's yours. All right. But my max allowable offer on this property, based on this rehab estimate, would be $76,770.25. It's being offered at $75, so this actually could be a good deal. Before I jumped on it right away, I would call Mike, the wholesaler who sent it to me, and I would say, hey, Mike, just ran my numbers, preliminary numbers anyways, and I'm interested. When can I come see it in person? Then I would see it in person, verify the scope of work, print it out, bring it with me, bring a blank one too, take any notes that I might have missed during the underwriting, and then make sure that this pencils out. All right. I would connect with my realtor. Well, for me, I have a partner who's a broker, so it's really easy for me. And I would just say, hey, can you go on the MLS, pull proper comps from this, and give me your opinion of what the ARV would be if we added another bathroom and fully flipped it? And then I would verify ARV that way. And as long as ARV is verified and the total rehab budget is verified, I would submit my offer at 75 cash and do this flip. In terms of financing, I'd probably use a hard money loan, or I'd raise some private money and just get it done that way, because you only need 180 grand to flip this house.